All right, how's it going, everybody? I'm here tonight with Dr. Tuong Mai. His patients like to call him Dr. T as well, and he's a local chiropractor here in the Bay Area. I'll let him go ahead and introduce himself. Dr. Tuong, tell us a little bit about yourself and where you practice.
I'm in San Jose, California, in a place in San Jose called Willow, Glen, but that's not really important. But this kind of help people understand where it's at. San Jose is kind of big. Yes, my patients call me Dr. T because it's easier, and I also like to. There's two Dr. T's in chiropractic school that I really admire. So, in a way, I like to bring on that legacy.
You mentioned chiropractic school. Where did you go for school?
Life Chiropractic West in Hayward.
Nice. Okay, how's your experience there?
It was really good. I visited two schools, but I just vibed really well at that school. There's a lot to it that I like. The way they welcomed me. Nothing wrong with other schools, but that was just a
Mhm.
school that vibed really well with me.
Okay. Is there, out of curiosity, is there like a good community between alumni and current students, or like a network where students can reach out to alumni?
I know that Life Chiropractic College has a alumni program,
Hmm.
and the other thing I want to say is a lot of times your state association. I know the one in Santa Clara Chiro associations.
Yeah.
We love having students. I think you were there.
Yeah.
Then we love having students. We love helping students. It's the future. It literally is. I mean, it's not like just a
Yeah.
saying. We don't want to make sure the students are guided right. And I'm sure you've been there, and other people. If people reach out to us, we'll like meet this patient. I mean, meet this meet this doctor. Oh, you want to learn
Hmm.
pediatrics? Visit this doctor. Oh, you want to learn about sports medicine? Meet this doctor. You want to learn about extremities? So students just kind of got to reach out too. They got to join the state association or reach out to whoever. I'm sure your school has it too. I'm not sure,
Yeah.
but I would think
Yeah.
so.
Yeah. I've been to a couple of Cal Caro events. And so, as you mentioned, that is the state association. And from what my understanding is, Cal Caro, or at least the California State Association, has one of the most organized systems, associations in the US. Can you expand a little bit, because I know you're an active member, expand a little bit about why it's important to have a state association like Cal Cairo?
That's a really important question. Our state association does a lot of things behind the scene that no one knows about. We
Mhm.
fight for the rights for chiropractors to, for example, bill Medicare or bill insurance. I'm not, I don't bill those companies, but I want to fight for your rights or other chiropractors' rights that do bill Medicare, and Medicare is very important for the geriatric community. The biggest thing I want to talk about, not I want to bring it up, is I say during COVID,
Mhm.
chiropractors were this close to being shut down, but because of Cal Chiro, they kept it open. They talked to the senators and say, "Hey, we're very essential. We're very important. If you shut us down, there will be a big problem in the healthcare community."
Mhm.
It was all behind the scenes,
Right.
um, and I feel like 1/20 of the chiropractic community is part of the state association, and the other part is just benefiting from our benefits. The other people may
Mm,
not know we're fighting for them, so therefore they're like, oh, they don't do anything.
yeah.
So, but yeah, we do a lot behind the scenes.
So I was gonna say there was a chance during COVID that chiropractic wasn't even allowed to be a thing. Like that's
We
like,
were,
hey, you gotta stay home.
we were
Yeah.
inches away. They were signing that line. I mean, they shut down a lot of people. I believe they
Right, right.
shut down. Actually, I think I think these things
Yeah.
happened. I'm pretty sure they did, but I don't know I didn't see the laws myself. But yeah, we were kept essential, and that was really important. I couldn't imagine not being essential. I could not imagine not
Hmm.
working for the last 2 years. I really don't
Hmm.
know what I would do for the last 2 years.
Yeah. Yeah, and I recently got an email from Cal Cairo that kind of like guided me through the upcoming election cycle. And I think for me as a student, and probably for like Cairos that are out there that are part of Cal Cairo, that's actually pretty good piece of information to have, because sometimes you're like, I don't even know what to vote for. I don't even know, what's going on with these different things that are passing in legislation. But it's a good guide to have. Okay, now they're fighting for my rights. They're helping me educate to fight for my rights as a future Cairo, or maybe as current Cairo. I think that's a very important thing to have.
It is. It's unfortunate that there are people in the world that don't support chiropractors, and it's
Mhm.
just a big misunderstanding. And
So I wanted to ask, I've actually visited your office a couple times, and I guess how do you market yourself to patients, or when a patient comes in and maybe they've seen other chiropractors before, like what do you kind of do to make yourself stand apart, or like, hey, what I'm doing like helps you?
for the most part, my practice is word of mouth. So if you like me, you're gonna tell someone. If my patient likes me, they're gonna tell someone else, and so forth. Um, yeah, I don't despise anything else like other people doing Instagram or Facebook marketing. That's all great and dandy.
Hmm.
But yeah, I just want to be the person that just like, have you heard about XYZ person? Have you
Yeah.
got fatigue? Yeah, that's what I want to be. When you get to practice, you'll see marketing can be one of those things where you're really not happy to do. you know,
Mm.
I might next year because everyone asks like, you should do an Instagram. You should like,
Yeah.
I might consider doing that. And
Okay.
because there are some magical things I wish I captured in the moment. Like, oh man, I wish someone would saw that person get
Yeah.
better instantaneously, or just the way they reacted, like basically cry moments. And I'm like, oh man, it's only in my head. No, I could just, things should be videotaped and recorded and stuff. You know,
Yeah.
for example, I was at Halloween party. I took no pictures. Like, man, I should take more pictures. You know, it was a great party.
Yeah. I think it's a good way for like to have like t patient testimonies, especially with like the whole social media age. It's a good way to have them like, hey, this guy really helped me out. You should go visit him. But yeah, I think that's a good thing to have. Good tool to
Yeah,
have.
it definitely is. I just got to get out of the mindset how sometimes social media can be negative, and I am really trying to like back down on social media, but I
Hmm.
guess for work and for the love of chiropractic and for other people, that's how I look at that. Like someone that's so much in pain, they're like, finally, they saw my video, they're like, fine, I'm gonna give in. I'm gonna try. I'm gonna give this
Yeah.
thing chiropractic a try, or this balloon in there. I'm gonna give it a try. I think it's fake.
Yeah.
Give it a try. So I'm gonna probably that's probably my New Year's resolution.
Let's get more
But I'm
active.
not sad. I gotta learn. I gotta learn to be sad with you. I'm sure I gotta probably buy a little tripod or something. I'm not sure.
Yeah. Well, I don't think you need like too much to get started with. Like maybe like the more you can get the ball rolling, you can add stuff, but I don't think it takes too much to start
Yeah.
off.
And the other thing is, I don't want to seem fake. You know,
Mm, yeah.
I how do you say like, hey, I'm gonna adjust you now, but my guy's gonna record you at the same time. He's like,
Mm,
that's
yeah.
kind of that one moment you're like, I don't want to be recorded. You know, so
Yeah.
there's a privacy thing involved too, legally too.
Right.
So
Right. Yeah, I mean, I guess as long as the patient is okay with it as well. It's something you have
yeah.
to talk about beforehand. Do you have well, since you're kind of thinking about getting the ball rolling in social media right now, do you have like a website that patients could go out there and find you and maybe get in contact with you if they're interested?
Kind of funny is yes and no. The reason why is small story short, guys. If GoDaddy or whoever you guys use send you a bill and says you need to pay up,
Mm.
pay it because I didn't know. I didn't know the difference between a domain and a whatever it's called.
uh,
Uh, you know what I'm talking about? Domain and
uh,
I forget, but
domain.
there's two.
Yeah.
And so I paid for one domain. That's what I paid
Uh-huh.
for. They sent me a bill for another one. And you'll learn that when you get in business, you get 1,000 pieces of mail a day. Like you literally get
Mm.
overwhelmed mail. So I'm like, well, I paid a domain fee already, or
Yeah.
whatever it is. But and all of a sudden people are like, hey, your website's down. Right? Heck, I paid for it.
Oh,
And then
geez.
I had to pay. I think it's called a website fee or something. But I paid a
Yeah.
domain fee. So right now, it currently so my website that I paid probably $1,000 for is
Yeah.
currently gone in the this. GoDaddy
Oh,
says, well, you pay for 90 days, so therefore it's gone. So,
jeez.
but funny thing is like, well, we'll make a brand new one for $5,000, Dr. T. I'm like, I was just slowly rub my finger, but no, I'm working on getting a new website, and just when
Yeah.
you're in school, I mean, it's like when you're at work, one of the last things you want to do is think about new content.
Mm.
But yes, my website is precisionsanjose.com. It's just
Hmm.
going to say for now until like January, my New Year's resolution. Uh,
Yeah.
it's under construction, but call the office. My
Okay.
office was 408 659 neck. It's super easy. NECK neck. So
Okay.
408 neck. That's the way you get a hold of me. I do think I have a Facebook page out there. It's Prior Position San Jose as well.
Yeah.
Pretty sure it's
Uh,
there. I see. I don't know how to use it. I do message me every now and then. I'm like, hey, can you
yeah.
just call me? Yeah, I know that a lot of people now want to use this computer thing. I
Yeah.
want just call the office, guys.
I'll put your office number and information in the description as
Yeah.
well, so people can locate it. But I'm sure if people like Google like Dr. Tuong Mai San Jose or something, they'll something will pop up where it shows you.
Yes, it will.
Yeah.
I tried Googling myself. Luckily,
Yeah.
all this stuff's on there. I haven't had any crazy pictures yet.
All right. So I was going to ask here, typically it's a tradition for the ending part of the interview to ask the main question is, what is chiropractic? How would you explain chiropractic?
I wish I gave you a short answer. I thought about it because the one question you kind of gave me.
Hmm.
Um, Chiropractic is the number one healing profession, number one healing modality that the universe has ever seen.
Mm.
Um, we help with all types of pain. And if one chiropractor can't fix it, someone else will. Another thing that I'm into is nutrition. So a lot of times, yes, the bones have alignment, causing nerve interference, and that's
Hmm.
causing all pain. Sometimes people have a biochemical situation. And I was telling you earlier, there are about like two chiropractors. I don't want to name drop them because I know what the rules
Hmm.
are nowadays,
Hmm.
but they're like the number one people that are carrying thyroids. They're called functional nutrition doctors.
Hmm.
One in San Diego, when they have books, they went to Harvard, and they're just amazing at healing autoimmune conditions, healing all types of things, and the nutritional digestive issues. I think the top five reasons of death is nutritional issues. So, on
Hmm.
top of just making the bone alignment, you got to eat right as well. You can't just expect the body to be aligned. So, number one healing profession of all, I believe that it's important to keep your nervous system intact, and on top
Hmm.
of that, your digestion system intact. And
Hmm.
sometimes you just need a really good chiropractor to do both, or sometimes you need two to do both. But
Hmm.
if I'm ever in a situation of a crisis, almost anything, I'm going to the chiropractor first before the ER. Minus, like I said, if my arm is falling off or I'm
Right.
gushing
Right.
blood, I'm not going to chiropractor. I'm going to ER.
Yeah. Yeah. For any students that are kind of getting ready to graduate, as a field doc, do you have any like any suggestions? What should they focus on as the first 1 or 2 year into the profession?
Okay, so first off, that's a two-part question. I'm not sure. The first part is graduate school. Whatever you guys do, just focus on graduate school. Finish your
Mm.
boards. That's super important. However, that being said, for some people, it's hard to focus on both. I had a really hard time focusing on clinic and
Hmm.
boards at the same time. Just graduate first. Once you graduate, it's a brand new world. Uh, as a first 2 year students, the first thing I did was I reached out to all the local docs that I thought
Mm.
were cool. I reached out to a lot of docs who were like, I want to be like that guy. And just
Mm.
shadow them for half a day, an hour, 2 hours. And you'll see, like, hey, this doc is exactly who I want to be. If someone's like, you just seem really cool, but I don't like you at all.
Mm.
So you have to find yourself by finding your own technique. People always ask, like, what technique do you do? I'm like, you know what? You're going to have your own technique. Let's say you do some Gaza technique, or you're gonna have your own twist to it,
Mm.
right? You
Hmm.
might do something. You might do almost exactly the same way that Doctor So and So does it, but it's gonna be
Hmm.
Doctor JJ's way of doing the
Mm.
Gaza.
Yeah.
So you have to go out there and find doctors and find mentors. So I talk to people. I'm like, oh, he's my mentor. Like they're like, you talk about a lot of mentors. I'm like, yeah. I basically have five people that I want to be exactly like. However, for Doctor A, I like this part of him, but
Yeah.
I don't really care about this part. But Doctor B, I want to incorporate that nutritional part for him. Doctor C, I want to
Uh,
incorporate his office. His office is super nice, and the way he has a flow in, the way he talks to patients. So
yeah.
I would say, talk to many doctors, uh, focus on being your own doctor. I really, I
Gotcha.
can't stress it enough. When you guys go to Doctor JJ, I'm gonna call you that.
Yeah.
It's like, yeah, I want you to just open up your own practice. If
Uh-huh.
you're strictly talk to other doctors and your
Uh-huh.
grad, it's great to work under a doctor for so long, but I believe most chiropractors are independent and we want to do our own thing. Like
Uh,
I want to do it this way. And if
Yeah.
you're working with us, like, no, you need to do it this way. Like, you're like, but I don't like that way. But I don't want to say hi to my patient like that every day.
Yeah.
I'll give you a
Yeah.
silly one. I hope I'll probably step on a lot of people's toes at this point. Well, there are a few doctors' offices when they pick up their phone, they say, "Have a marvelous Monday. How can I help you?" I'm like, "Oh my God, oh, terrific Tuesday,
Yeah.
a tremendous Thursday." And that's right. Nope, my person does not pick up the phone that way.
Hmm.
But if yours does, that's by all means. Don't say
Right,
anything.
right, yeah. Well, I mean, it's like
I,
you practice the way you want to, right?
yeah, and I'll give you one thing. One thing that made me go on is my last person wanted me to wear a button-up shirt and slacks. Well, that's really hard for me to
Mm,
work in button-up
yeah,
shirt and slacks. So I look
yeah,
very casual, but semi-professional, I would say. But a collar
yeah.
t-shirt at the time.
Okay. Now, I guess on the flip side of that question, like if there was a time where you would take on an associate, like how would that be kind of a relationship for you?
I was talking to my other friend about it, and it's definitely something I want to do because I want to expand. I want to like
Hmm.
be in a different part of like maybe Southern California, have an office down there. So yeah, the
Okay.
association is really, really powerful. I don't think I could like elaborate on it real much about like the whole business aspect, but I would
Yeah.
want to say I want to definitely take care of the associate. You know,
Mm,
yeah, I'm sure it's really tough out there in the chiropractic world in the associate department. But I would
yeah.
love to take care of it and make sure that we're both happy, and it's all about having a great facility.
And it sounds like you're the kind of boss where it's like, hey, it doesn't have, like you're not the boss where hey, it has to be this way. You have to answer the phone this way. You kind of get a little bit more leeway to the associate.
You know what? It's kind of tough when you have your own business. You kind of want things done your way, but
Yeah.
this associate would have to explain to me why he would want to answer the phone that well he would want the front desk to answer the phone that way.
Yeah.
There's certain things like no, you can't do that. Like
Yeah,
he's mandated to brush his teeth 3 times a day. Yes, that is a rule.
yeah.
You gotta wash your hand between patients. Mandated. I don't care. Simple stuff like that.
Yeah. I'm pretty sure there's a common ground you'll have to find at some point.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I appreciate you coming in, especially later on in the night. It's a great experience interviewing you. And I'll definitely I'll put your contact information in our box below here so patients could go ahead and see what Dr. Tuong is all about. And do you have any closing remarks to say before we take off for the night?
Yeah, so since they don't really know me, I'm just gonna tell you a few things about myself in case they do want to contact me. One of my specialties is called Cranial Facial Release. It's a
Mhm.
technique you see on YouTube where I put balloons in people know this, but it's more than just that. I help people function better with their migraines, headaches. The biggest thing I help people focus on is sleep and unresolved pain. So I'm really that's one of my specialties and nutritional. So a lot of times people have nutritional issues. That's just my pride and joy. But yeah, anyone can fix back and neck pain, but definitely if you have unresolved neck and back pain, I love fixing that the most. But I definitely want to go. I'm targeting my audience more towards the people that need to find that super chiropractor. So
Yeah.
that's what I want to be.
Oh yeah,
All right.
no, he's great. And like I said, I've visited him a couple times, and yeah, he has some really good stuff going on there, guys. So you definitely check him out. All
All
right,
right,
thanks
Jay.
again, Dr. Tong.
Have a good one.
Have a good one.